welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Each Dawn I Crow, and with me today is my fellow rooster, I suppose, is my good friend SC MacPeter. Say hi. Very nice, very nice. So this is Each Dawn I Crow, released on the 23rd of September 1949. It had a blue ribbon reissue sometime in the late 50s. It's the 568th in the series, and it's directed by Friz Freleng. Currently, there's no restoration. It did play a few times on Cartoon Network and also on MeTV recently, but hopefully we'll get a restoration soon.
Soon the sun to be coming up.
Now, as for a synopsis, it's very straightforward. A rooster named John thinks that Elmer is going to slaughter him with an axe to cook him for dinner. So he tries a few things to avoid that fate with the help of a narrator, who actually ended up putting the idea in his head that, yes, Elmer's going to use that axe on him. So it's a bit of a psychological one, I'd say.
Uh-oh, this one's about ready to hatch. Here, chicken, you sit on it till it hatches.
Now, as for the trivia, the title is a play on the 1939 Warner Brothers movie called Each Dawn I Die. It's got nothing to do with the movie, of course, it's just a play on the title. Now, there's no Mel Blanc in this short, so you'll notice in the titles that there's no voice credits whatsoever, because Mel Blanc is the only one that actually had the privilege, if you will, to have a credit whenever he will do any sort of work on him. But here we've got the narrator played by Frank Graham, and we have Arthur Q. Bryan, of course, doing Elmer Fudd. Now, speaking of Frank Graham, he's doing what's called a conscience voice, based off the 1940s radio character called The Whistler, who was on the radio show of the same name, and he would be the ironic observer of each character's weekly fate. So thanks Keith Scott for that information there and putting this cartoon into further context. Now, one thing I wanted to point out before we dive right into our thoughts on this short is that animation historian Jerry Beck is actually not a fan of this short. He basically writes down, he finds that this is a little disturbing. Clearly it's a bit dated. We are used to the Warner characters trying to kill each other, but the subconscious dramatic narrator bit by Frank Graham, who is great, is creepy. It's simply a cartoon I have no feeling to ever re-watch. Wow, that's some strong words there. I mean, do you sort of see where he's coming from with that one?
I disagree, but I understand what he means.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a bit more of a serious parody than a lot of the other parodies they would do, but I get it.
Yeah, exactly, because this one, I will say out front, it's no masterpiece. Heck, it's not even one I love, but I do like it, and there's a few reasons for that. I mean, for one thing, this is one of those cartoons that I never had on VHS, but I did see a few times on Cartoon Network when I was younger, so I've seen this one, and I liked it for what it was. It wasn't bad. Did you encounter this one yourself on TV, or like?
Then they weren't even on TV at all.
Wow. Yeah, I keep forgetting. See, this shows my age. You know.
But I stumbled upon this one randomly, and I enjoyed it. Freleng in 1949 was pretty average, and this one is one of those that are above average. The ones that I can recall offhand include Battle of Putty Cat and Hair Diving Hare being the two standouts of this year, and mostly average besides that. But this one's above that, I can say.
Yeah, I agree. And, there's a lot to like about this one, especially from a musical point of view. And I really wish I had my good friend Manny Cruz, the music expert, on here. But essentially, we hear Some Sunday Morning. And it's a song that was being used quite a few times in Looney Tunes by now. And Carl Starling seems to love it, and I guess Friz Freleng too. So you hear it over the opening title. And it's used as a theme in the short.
Yes, sir-wee. Just what I'll need for the nasty job I have to do tomorrow.
Elmer Fudd even sings it.
Some Sunday morning, da-da-da-da-da. Some Sunday morning, da-da-da-da-da.
But also it actually matches what goes on in the cartoon, where some Sunday morning, this rooster's going to get an axe to him, supposedly.
And soon the church bells will be chiming.
But there was something else you noticed about the music.
Yeah, I noticed that most of the shorts played under an organ soundtrack, which occasionally would happen. They did it with Who Killed Who at MGM. I recall a few early 30s Van Buren shorts, like the first Van Buren, Tom and Jerry, What a Night, had the organ soundtrack. But no, it was rarely done by this point, and it's a pretty nice touch, and it does complement the attitude of this short. I don't mind Friz Freleng being a bit serious because it does bring a bigger joke to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I love the dark humor in this one, especially in the beginning. Frank Graham, the narrator in this one, he's the standout, I feel, in this short.
Oh, don't be alarmed. It's just that I see Farmer Fudd over there, sharpening his axe. And that usually means chicken dinner.
It's just an incredible thing. In fact, even Jerry, even though he didn't like the short, he still complimented Frank Graham, so that shows just how good it was. And it's a shame, because Frank, not long after this short, this is one of his last few roles before he took his own life, and that's, of course, a pretty sad thing. But at least here, yeah, you can see what a great talent he
you can see why he was used so frequently, because he was great at impressions, he was great at adding the life to those impressions as well.
Yeah.
He was just a great talent.
Exactly.
And you wish that this sort of thing didn't happen. And just the whole story about why that happened is sad in its own.
Exactly, right. And you can find more of his work also over at MGM with the Tex Avery stuff.
And he did most of the Fox and Crow cartoons as well.
So, as for the cartoon itself, I mean, there are a few gags I really enjoyed. And, you know, have you seen these gags before? Yeah, but again, I'm watching these in order, and these are designed to be just done in one thing, so this could be anyone's first short for that matter. I don't think they'll be too impressed maybe with Looney Tunes if this was their first, but anyway. For me, the cigarette gag stands out. I'm surprised no one's actually gotten that as a GIF picture file yet. Maybe I'll make one, I don't know, but it's such a good little twist about all these cigarettes in his mouth. But I do like, in terms of the story, how it sets it up is that you know, as the audience, that there's going to be a twist in this one. You know this, but what is it? And that's what I like about how this one is set up. I mean,
I like how it ends a little bit too, because you're not. Of course, most of the audience is expecting this character not to die, at least by the halfway point, and then by the end, he is being cooked for dinner, of course.
Yeah, and I guess maybe that's why some people, such as Jerry, may not like the short, because you know he's getting cooked at the end. So I'll admit, I did feel a little bit let down by the twist. I sort of thought if it's just him chopping down a tree, it'd be probably a little bit of a letdown. Maybe there would have been better gag. I can't think of one, so if you guys can think of a better one, definitely write down in the comments below. But other gags I liked. Look, I like how he buries the axe to try and get rid of it, which I'm sure Farmer Elmer would have had. Farmer Elmer, sorry, I gotta laugh at that. Farmer Elmer would have other axes or tools to do what he needs to do. And also the wall gag where he's trying to prevent the sun from rising. I thought that was pretty clever. But the weirdest moment, though, would have to be the hunters. Why are they all in this cornfield? Why are they setting up the duck hunt in that field? That's a really weird gag, which I thought was funny for maybe all the wrong reasons. Any gags you liked? Maybe the grenade gag, or...
Yeah, I like the grenade gag. Of course, Freely would reuse that a few times, I recall. It's just overall, maybe the whole joke of it is, of course, that it's a parody, and that, of course, he doesn't die, at least you think. But it is just a nice, touching short. Not the best, but it is better than a lot of what Freeland was doing because of its, I guess, off-put.
Yeah, see, I'm giving it 7 out of 10, and, you know, honestly, if it wasn't for Frank Graham, I probably would have given it a 6. But Frank Graham kicks it up that extra notch for me. You know, is it a bad short? No, I find I can watch this short over, say, you know, Buddy's Day Out or something, which weirdly enough is not on Jerry Beck's list, which I'll have a link below, by the way, if you want to see the shorts that he doesn't like. I mean, what would you rate this one?
I rate it 7 as well. I like it. Another thing I thought was that, Of course, the organ soundtrack would have harked back to Carl Stallings' days as a conductor at sound films at theaters around Kansas City. That also comes to mind of just maybe there was a bit more passion in doing the organ for this.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I really do like the soundtrack to this one. So, again, that's probably the other reason why instead of a 6, I'm giving it a 7. You got Frank Graham and the wonderful soundtrack. Gags, they're fine. It's watchable. But anyway, at least it's another one off the list. So, thank you all so much for watching, guys. And until next time, take care.
That's all, folks.
Hello, Wasco? Can you come over? We're unexpectedly having a chicken dinner.